Praise the Lord, and thank you for joining with us once again for another episode with RCAG podcast. We are exploring different stories from different believers on how they have been utilizing their time and what insights or what lessons they can, share with us so that we can also collectively learn that way and apply it when we are also venturing out. To serve the kingdom of God and to expand the kingdom of God. And with us today is a member of RCAG. His name is Brother Tony Allwyn, and he is balancing multiple roles with different organizations. He is with IBM. He is also with Cornerstone Ministries, and he's also pursuing his own social projects. He's right now undertaking a course with the Theological College. And we're going to hear from him on what he's been able to contribute, how he's been able to contribute in the last 6 months. So, Brother Tony, very glad to have you here with us, and also very keen to hear of the stories that you have to share with us about how you've been, spending the last 6 months from a professional capacity as also from a social welfare capacity. So, how have you been so far?
First of all, thank you for inviting me to this podcast session.
Mm-hmm.
It's an honor to be here. This entire 6 to 9 months has been a wonderful journey for me. And a lot of things, a lot of ups and downs. And we will go ahead.
Sure. So I'll go straight into it then. How has the lockdown been for you?
Lockdown actually has been a great blessing for me, if I have to really tell about it, because in terms of ministry, in terms of corporate life, in terms of family, everything has been a blessing for me. I've learned a lot of things, so it was definitely a blessing for me.
All right, and is there any specific way by which you were productive in these last 6 months? Something that you would like to share with us? Any stories?
I would like to start with the social work that we actually did. It was a clear vision from God Himself. God wanted us to go ahead and feed the heroes in this pandemic, the corpse. So He wanted us to go and feed them food. So we had a very little amount. Probably hardly we could go ahead and feed 25 to 30 individuals twice a week. That's all we had. But God, through His own people, He made us do great and mighty things. And we'll continue to talk about that.
Sure. So also, how has your family been taking it? Staying at home. How have they been also working through this?
Family, I would say that we learned more about each one of us because we spent a lot of time together. We wake up looking at them, we sleep looking at them. So it was a time to go ahead and spend with the family as husband and wife, father and children. It was a great time and we learned a lot of things. Our relationship actually grew in this lockdown. So it was good in terms of family as well.
Sure, definitely. So we'll get into that also as well. So coming back to your activities during these 8 months, especially about how you served the cops, if you could get into a little more detail on how you went about this, how the thought first came to your mind and how you went about this, if there was any hassles or any obstacles you faced on the way, and how did you achieve the fulfillment of that thing that you had to do?
Okay, so when God actually gave me this vision of going ahead and feeding the corpse, when God gives you a plan, He gives the provision as well. And I thought, okay, 2 days is what God wanted me to do. And I normally have a relationship with the Cyberabad City Police, specifically the traffic division, because any violation in Nizampet, in my area, the first person to click and send it to the police guys and have a challan raised in the next 5 minutes would be me. So we already have a good bonding with them. So I reached out to them and I said I need permission for my car to travel during lockdown because cars were not allowed without a reason. So when I reached them, they immediately said it's a good purpose and we will give you the permission, and they gave me permission to go ahead and drive my car during lockdown. And then that's when I told them this is my plan, and they said, okay, you can go ahead and start doing it. So first day my wife cooked around 25-30 packs of food and we took it to the police station. There was one sub-inspector called Shankar in Kukatpalli. When I went and gave him the food, he said, government is anyway paying us. Why don't we go it and give it to the slum, people in the slum? So he took us to a slum close to Kukatpalli Commissioner's office, Assistant Commissioner office. and we started giving food there. The second day we started, and we didn't want to stop, but we did not have money. And few of my friends, specifically the first person who saw my status on the WhatsApp was my director from my company. And he said, "You're doing a good work, I cannot do it. Can I sponsor for 2 days?" I said, "Okay, well, good." So we continued the fourth day, second and third day. We started with that. And I never knew where the money flowed from. It came from RCAG. It came across the globe from all my ex-colleagues working in Canada, working in Dubai. They started sending money every day, every week.
Amazing.
And we started with 5,000. We ended with 3 lakhs, spending 3 lakhs in all these 50 days. And we almost gave food for 3,000 and odd people. And we gave grocery kits for 111 families in slum. And we assisted 3 orphanages and 1 mentally challenged home. Almost every home had 75 individuals, so we gave them provisions for all 1 month. So that's how God led me. And on the 50th day, we gave, they call it the big khana, right? The grand feast. And then we ended on the 50th day, we ended because God said, that is it, the lockdown is over. And things went smooth after that. And that's how God took us all to this.
That's excellent. That's really thoughtful of you to think about the law enforcement agencies, because we often take this for granted because we think that the government is going to provide us the security. Even if you go to a neighborhood, a good neighborhood, a peaceful, calm and quiet neighborhood, it remains peaceful and calm and quiet because there is a patrol vehicle that pays a visit at 2 a.m. or 3 a.m. in the morning, and the residents are not even aware of it. That's how they keep crime in check, and that's how they, if we go out late in the night, we'll see them at different signal points. The cops, they'll be standing in the dark, they'll be the police, they'll be standing in the dark, and they are there to make sure that law and order is maintained in the city. So this was a really good way of you giving it back to them, helping them also understand, touching them, and also to see the humane side from them, because they are also aware that there are certain segments of the society who might not be taken care of, who might also be requiring. It was good to see that also from them.
That excited me as well, because we've heard a lot of negative things about the cops, that they're taking everything from the general people. But when we intentionally went and gave them, they said, no, let's give it to the people who are in real need. So that really inspired us to do it more.
That is amazing. I mean, especially our law enforcement, we have a stereotype about them, but they are actually a very robust agency who are really good at what they do, and they are not we personally might not feel that they're getting the appreciation that they deserve. And this was also as you said, it excited you that they were also able to show you, because they're also aware and they're also observing how society is treating each other. They're also being able to see all sides of this. So if this is something that's very engaging, because you had to have impact, which means that many man hours have gone into this, how were you able to carry your work also, your professional life through this, during this?
That's again a mighty testimony, because almost November, I planned to move to a different team, and I got off the current team that I was working with, and that's time when the project actually got closed, so I was in bench. And 3 months down the lane, there was an announcement at my corporate level, executive level, stating that anybody who's been on the bench for 3 months have to leave the company immediately. There was no notice period given. So we thought, okay, my name will be in the list. We saw my name was not on the list. On the 3rd month, I was like, why is my name not on the list? And I went inside the tool to check that my name was assigned to a project. So I immediately sent a mail to the HR and WFM team stating that, boss, my name is assigned to a project, but I haven't got a call from any of them, not the manager, not the team member. No one called me. So what am I supposed to do? They were hunting who assigned my name on the project for almost till June, till May end. From November till May end, they were hunting to understand who has locked me in a project, and they till now they could not find who assigned me on that project. Just because they assigned me on the project, they were giving me full salary for all the 9 months.
Okay.
No pay cuts,
Right.
nothing, and I was getting full pay. I was doing my work that God wanted me to do. May, God wanted me to end in the month of May all the food distribution. I ended it up, and June 3rd I got a call stating that you are assigned to another project. Your interviews are over. Go ahead and start working. I said I didn't have an interview. They said we had an interview 9 months back, so we know what kind of a candidate you are. We saw your history. We got a referral, everything is done, start working. And November 3rd, I start working. So God wanted me to do something. He did not just give me the provision, but He also gave me the time to do it. So He gave me a leisure time from corporate life to do my ministry, and then He took me back to corporate life. So that's how I was able to manage. So technically, I did not manage, God managed it.
That's a very rich testimony right there. And also, even I meant to also ask this, like, you were doing the social work before the lockdown as well. You have been doing it for a while now. So how does that tie in with the contribution that you're making right now? How was the flow achieved, or is it any drastic changes in the way you have been serving? Did you notice?
Prior to this, the amount of people who supported were less prior to lockdown or this period that I had. God completely changed my circle. I mean, God actually took some people out of my life and He brought some new people into my life. So every time someone comes into our life to bless us, we cannot stick on to them because God brought them for a purpose and God takes them out for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So this lockdown, God got a lot of people into my life, and few people who were disconnected for ages got reconnected in ministry. So a lot of opening in terms of preaching as well. So all this while it was all local preaching. So in this lockdown I started going preaching in Myanmar, Burma meetings and all. So the entire spiritual realm itself got changed for me. So time and again I have to tell that, yeah, I know that a lot of people were affected due to this pandemic, but I have to seriously tell this pandemic was a blessing, complete blessing for me in every detail of my life.
Right. And also, I understand that we'll have a big audience listening into us right now, and there might be a lot of people who might have wondered or toyed with the idea of going out there and contributing or serving, but they are wondering if they have it within them to do it. So is there a message that you could give to them right now? I mean, you could look into the camera and give them how they can serve, how they can put themselves forward without hesitating, and God will take care of them.
Yeah, as I told you, a lot of people came forward to help me in doing what I was about to do, especially what my director said, I want to do, but I cannot get onto the field like what you do. So it is not that we just go and do it personally. Anyone who's genuinely doing, God will definitely answer your need, your prayers, your desires. When you want to go ahead and help someone, God will show you the way how to go ahead and help. It is not you personally have to go, because we are not here to go ahead and project ourselves for our glory. We're doing it for the glory of God. So we will find the right person, and God will show us the right person depending upon our desire. So that's how we need to go ahead and sit in the presence of God and tell Him this is my desire and ask Him how we need to go ahead and fulfill this.
So I'm the takeaway from me from that is the crucial part is the desire. We just go to the presence of God with the desire, and He's going to take care of it from that. He's going to carry us from that.
Exactly.
That's great. That's wonderful. That's very encouraging. And also, I understand you are doing a bachelor's in theology, and I think that's from Jerusalem College in Chennai. That's great. So, is there any insights that you learned which you have been able to apply in your sermons or within your ministry? If you can comment on that.
Definitely, because that's wonderful material that's been given from the Jerusalem University. So they constantly keep in touch with you to ask you have a burden, you have obstacles, why are you not able to complete? The only reason why it is taking time is like I'm engaged with too many things, so I'm taking my own time to do my thesis, to write all the big articles on the questions they ask. So that's the only part, but other than that, the material is so good that you learn everything. It is practical experience of the writer, the author. So you learn a lot of things. You would be able to connect it with your life. You will be able to understand, okay, this is what is God wanting from you. It will definitely help.
And I'm sure you'll have a lot of material to add based on your current experiences and insights that you're learning.
Yeah, that's how I write the thesis when I write, because when they ask the question, I take 10-15% from the book, and rest you see everything would be out of my own experience. Complete couple of papers, and probably I got a good mark.
All right. And coming back to your family, how have they been working, or especially for your kids? Because we understand that kids, they are the agency for energy in any given household, and they pack the energy, and you want to let them help you, like achieve it. You want them to unleash that energy. It's always it's a beautiful sight. Actually, something that we missed during lockdown is seeing kids playing on the streets, having a recreational time over there, which that was actually, I would say, kind of like robbed from us during lockdown. So how are your kids taking it? How are the children doing during the lockdown?
More than how children are looking at it, for me it was a complete different experience, because normally if you see, they'll go to school, come back tired, have some recreation, see few things on the phone and have some food and then sleep or write their own homeworks and other stuff. But in this lockdown, everything is online, not too much of writing works, but real potential of my children came out. The way my daughter takes care of the family, the way she takes care of the entire the ministry side of mine. She started preaching, she started leading worship. Mm-hmm. Now she's got a prayer group. Twice a week she leads a prayer group, all young children. Every day, twice a week morning, by 5 o'clock they get up and they lead in worship. They share words, and I'm seeing a lot of things that I haven't seen all this while. And this lockdown in this area also, the lockdown has been a blessing for me. Right from taking care of the household things, from ministry, to my wife. Wife was not well, and she's not well a little bit. And the way my daughter takes care of her, everything has been new for me. And I'm so thankful to God for showing me this phase of my life.
That's great. It's nice to know that when they take initiatives on their own, we adults realize that, okay, it's time for us to unlearn some things and relearn it. Seeing from how the new blood is doing it, how they are doing it.
The way they have been doing, it's more than unlearning. I thought of getting retired now.
That is great to know. So, all right. As a concluding message, because you've given us so much insights and there's a lot of experience that you shared from us, and it's very encouraging. This is inspiring for us to also go out there and do something. Do you have a message that would summarize everything that you've been seeing that you could give to our audience now?
To summarize all these things, one thing that I would say is stay in the center of God's will. Nothing is difficult. Don't go by the circumstances. Don't go by your ability, your strength. God has got a plan for everybody. And when He got a plan, He also will give you the provision. He will make the path, all the crooked paths straightened for you. So don't worry about how you're going to do it. Always believe that God is going to do it. I'm just going to go here and be a bystander there. When you try to implement God's plan, that's when you get into trouble. When you allow God to do His plan and be a bystander, you will end up in the destiny that God always had for you. So be in the center of God's will. Simple.
Sure. Thank you very much for sharing the message. Thank you for joining us this time. And that is all the time we have for this podcast. Thank you for tuning in. Next week, again, same time, we'll be seeing you with another guest. We'll be having more experiences. And if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the comment section. We'll try to answer it for you. We have a lot of exciting insights and stories coming up, and we will see you next week.